Peace, everyone. It's BlackHighPriestess. I just been watching some interesting things on YouTube. Horror stories about Tinder dates that lead into me watching horror stories about people camping in the woods and all that other interesting crime stuff that I enjoy. So I figured I would do a quick upload on some mistakes that I feel good men make when using Tinder or other dating apps. And this, when I mean good men, I mean men who are really looking for, friendship, compatibility, a relationship. Men who are looking to really treat a woman properly and get to know her. Or men who are looking for something casual but are civilized moral men, and they just know what they want, and they know that it's not commitment at this time, but they are still seeking female company. A lot of the things I'm going to mention are things that are done a lot of times intentionally by men who are criminals or who have ulterior motives in being on a dating app or seeking out a female partner. So, without further ado, the first thing I put is mistakes good men make on Tinder and other dating apps. I have some things written down, and it's trying to meet up with a woman before she makes the suggestion. It's very imposing, it's uncomfortable, and it shows that you don't have enough civilization or understanding of women to know what women should and are comfortable with in a world full of predators using an online public dating app, and how much vulnerability is involved when, as a woman, we're already vulnerable. We are the vulnerable ones in society, next to babies and the elderly. Women are more vulnerable than men, and that's by design. It's not something that's up for discussion. That's why women have to take steps to carry weapons that are reasonable, like pepper spray. If a woman doesn't know how to use a knife, it's not that smart for a woman to carry something that a man can take from her and then use on her. Something like pepper spray, or even a taser or something. Though those things allow for distance and allow for a woman who, for the most part, cannot defend herself against a man physically, unless she's trained. It allows for her safety in a dire circumstance if she's being attacked. So, as a man, it's first and foremost your responsibility to make that woman feel protected and provided for. If you don't date or deal with women in that way, you're not expressing manhood, and you weren't raised properly. And you probably had poor examples of manhood, and you probably think that being a man is using women, manipulating women, getting the upper hand on a woman. Whereas educated, civilized, sophisticated, and especially high class men understand that a woman is already vulnerable. And if you abuse that, you have castrated yourself. It is your design to protect and provide for a woman and for the vulnerable in your nation. That's the man's role. That's the definition of manhood. So when you, as a man, when the first thing you want to do is meet up, you're coming off as a predator, and you're coming off as a criminal that you are looking to get a quick come up somehow. So the solution to that is, Wait for the woman to show that she's comfortable meeting up with you, or invite her to a public event or venue. So simply wait for the green light, wait for those signs. Something that I really don't have here, but kind of ties into a lot of the things I'm saying is, if you don't have enough empathy and sympathy and instinct and intuition to know when you're making someone uncomfortable, you probably have some psychological issues and you need some therapy, and you're not safe to be around. It's important that women understand men without empathy are dangerous. People without empathy are dangerous, but when you're dating, it's especially men without any form of empathy. And the first way that a man shows he has no empathy is he will make you uncomfortable, and it shows that he has no ability to sense has no sense of boundaries. And that's a criminal. The other thing about trying to meet up with a woman before she suggested, a lot of times when you're asking a woman to come over to your place or to come over to her place, it implies that you're broke and you can't afford to take a woman on dates in order to get to know her until she's comfortable with taking that next step. So when you invite a woman out to a public place or invite her to an event or to a venue, meaning to a restaurant or a bar or somewhere, public and comfortable, a lounge, whatever, the movie theater, when you do those things, you're showing that you can afford to date her and you can afford to entertain her and court her until she's comfortable being intimate with you. And when you do that, you're showing that you are looking for friendship. You are looking to get to know this woman, before violating her boundaries. The next thing is the next mistake that good men make on dating apps is asking for information that you yourself wouldn't feel comfortable giving up. Or for example, if you have a young daughter or a mother or grandmother who you wouldn't feel comfortable with the loved women who are vulnerable to you in your life, you wouldn't feel comfortable with them divulging to a perfect stranger. And again, that's the other thing. Just like talking about the empathy, a lot of these things point to when a man has no empathy, he has no sense of understanding that he is a perfect stranger to you. And when a man does not understand on a dating app that he's a perfect stranger, he's dangerous. I don't know how much gray area there has to be, but this is for the men who may be in that gray area, to kind of clarify. The next mistake is asking for information you wouldn't feel comfortable giving up yourself, or you wouldn't feel comfortable with the vulnerable women in your family giving up to a perfect strange man. The solution, and information like this is, for example, obviously, anything to do with money, bank, credit cards, social security information, those things should go without saying. But just to clarify, for some brothers who don't get it, or men, whoever's watching, asking a woman's address or asking where she lives, asking where she works, asking personal family information, asking the names of people in her life, ask even sometimes asking the name of her pet. This woman is a stranger. So when you are not sophisticated, you start asking questions that show you don't have social skills, and you don't have certain boundaries. So when it comes to that first thing, especially with brothers, Um, when you ask where does a woman live or where does she stay, um, in terms of location, you got to understand a lot of these dating apps are already based on vicinity. So when you're asking where a woman lives, when you're already matching with her, you should know where she is. So I can understand if you are a brother who has experienced a lot of falsehood from women, and so you're trying to check her out and see if things are matching up and lining up. But this is more so about trying to find out more specifically where she lives. And when it comes to brothers, you all love asking like what side of town you stay on or what part, this or that. That should really honestly be irrelevant. And if your priority about a woman is what part of town she lives in or where she lives, you probably have some very low class. You're a very low class individual, and you're very narrow minded. So you know, a lot of times black men will do that. They'll ask what part of this could be in the type of city or the type of environment you live, where things may be sectioned off a certain way, or they're trying to, but a lot of, when men have to calculate every little penny and every little gas and mileage, and when they're looking for something easy and convenient, they want to know how local you are, or when they are small minded, they want to know if you have the same mentality as them. So they want to know where are you from. A lot of black men will also do that when they are impressed by a black woman. Their first assumption is she's not from my neighborhood because she's smarter than me, she's beautiful, she's different, and the black women I grew up with are trash like me. Forgive me, but that's what a lot of, if it's not trash, it's just the black women I grew up around are very, very, very low class, low education, and unattractive. And she's, you know, a higher standard or a higher caliber of woman. So let me ask, where does she live? You know, that's that. The reason I'm talking to black men in terms of that, where it's not a violation of privacy to necessarily ask where a person lives, but it shows your class level a lot of times, brothers. And it shows, if that's the main thing on your mind, it's implying negative things about you to a woman who has a broader perspective on the world. It makes you come off as you can't think outside of your little ghetto or your little neighborhood or your city, and it makes it when you prioritize that. But what I'm talking about, the information that you wouldn't feel comfortable giving up, I'm talking about asking specific things about, where do you stay, what block, this or that, those things, it's low class, it's uncivilized, and it's a violation. And it makes you come off as a stalker a lot of times. So the solution to that is, men, instead of asking her address, where she works, or asking specific names of people and pets in her life, or asking these specific details about personal information, any information that you use to fill out a job application, and we're not talking about the stuff about you, like, your recent jobs, or what your hobbies are, or what your skills are, or what sets you apart from different candidates. We're talking about that first page information of social security numbers, full name, birth dates, addresses, past addresses, past places that you've worked, or, names of close relatives, information of close relatives. These are things that you fill out when you're getting medical attention, when you're getting a job, these are things that basically no one but the government needs to know. So when you have an individual asking you these questions, you come across as a government agent or a stalker or a criminal, a stalker or an identity theft. You see? So the antidote to you coming off as a stalker or a criminal or a government agent, or which is a spy, is ask the woman the things that are most important to you when it comes to long-term compatibility. And those things should be, what are her beliefs? Meaning, what God does she serve? What is her education? So you know what you know whether you're compatible with someone based on how educated they are. And this is not about what's your degree and what's my degree. It's not about what school you went to, what school I went to. It's about world education. It's about your level of wisdom. What wisdom has this woman earned? You know what I'm saying? That makes her compatible to you. What career and job experience or career and job path or goals. You don't have to ask where a person works, but you should get to know what job market and what career they're in, so you can understand what skills they have that are marketable and profitable, and so you understand what their lifestyle is like. Asking a woman her goals is very important because it lets you know what she's about. And from what I hear from most men, and I haven't done too much surveying, but from what I hear from most men, most women are on dating apps to prostitute. So in like I said, if you're a good person, you're a decent brother, you're a good man, and you're looking for something, genuine, and you're not just looking for a prostitute or to be a criminal. It's important to know what that woman's goals are, because you can support those goals. And the quickest way to a woman's heart after being a protector and a provider is being a support system for her goals. That's the first form of friendship. And that is the definition of friendship. So when you out here saying that you're looking for friendship, this and this and that, and not just with benefits, unless that's what you're looking for, you will be looking to support her goals. So you got to know what those things are, to come across as a good man, or to come across as the good man that you should be, you know. Other thing is ask about her talents, because her talents are directly related to her hobbies too. So, and asking about hobbies, or, what she does for entertainment, ask the things that are the most important to you when it comes to a long-term relationship. Why the friendships that you have that have lasted over 10 years, or that have lasted over 5 years, or the new friendships that have gone strong for a year or 2 or 3. Why do those friendships last? Think about that, and those need to be the questions that you ask women who you potentially want any type of relationship with. And those things have nothing to do with your address or your job or your family information. Because when you're friends with someone, they can move away and you're still friends. They can lose their job or start a new career and you're still friends. They can have you can have family differences, and people in your families can maybe even be arguing, but your friendship still stands. Family info, people can get divorced and still have friendships, social friendships. So when you're looking to relate, don't ask personal information, because you're just coming off as a creep. The next mistake that good men make when using Tinder and dating apps: seeking a wife or seeking commitment from a woman. And when I say seeking that, it means you have that in your profile and you are showing that you're seeking that by joking about it, by treating her like a wife already when she is a perfect stranger. You come across as creepy. When you treat a woman like she is your wife, when she is a perfect stranger, and you start showering her with compliments and gifts and things and flattery and stuff, when she's not your wife and she's not your prostitute, she's still a perfect stranger who you don't know, and a lot of times who you haven't even talked to on the phone once, but you're already treating her like she's your wife. That's a mistake that good men make. It shows you have desperation, which will push anyone away. Desperation from anyone can push any good person away. And it shows you have mental disorders, which again, it shows that you have a lack of empathy and a lack of sympathy, which means you don't have boundaries. You don't have boundaries, and you don't have a self-discipline, and you don't have respect for other people. So, you know, when you say that you're seeking a wife, you are already showing a sense of being out of touch with being grounded in reality, because you're on a dating app. You're not on a marriage app. You're on a dating app, and you're on there seeking a wife. So it shows you're out of touch with reality, which shows some level of mental disorders and mental instability, which is dangerous. And a lot of times it shows what you really think of women, and it shows how you view a woman's role in your life. And it shows how much you objectify women. And some men don't realize when they may be trying to flatter a woman with the idea or the concept of being a wife, when all you're doing is you're objectifying her. And these are women who are strangers to you. Okay? So the solution to good men putting out there and behaving as if they are seeking a wife or immediate commitment is, one, you need to seek friendship and compatibility, because no marriage is going to work without those two. The next solution is be honest about what you want, but don't have those expectations of a single woman. When you're seeking a wife or you're looking for a wife on a dating app, it's a red flag for wise women. It shows control issues, it shows being out of touch with reality, and it's very objectifying. It's honest, but it doesn't show wisdom or intelligence. And a good woman does not want to be led by a silly man without wisdom or intelligence. So when you put seeking a wife, you might as well put seeking a prostitute. When you're on a dating app, you see, there's no difference when you're putting that out there to perfect strangers. You know, it's not the Bachelorette show. You know, so those people on that show are actors and actresses. So if you're seeking an actor or actress, the old definition being a prostitute, that's what you're saying when you're on a dating app, saying I'm seeking a wife, and you're already treating a perfect stranger like a wife because you matched and you don't even know each other. Don't put that desperation out there. Put out what you have to offer a potential date or a potential wife instead. Don't put, you know, it's better for a man to put seeking something casual. Friends with benefits, it's makes you sound like you're 21 or younger. Um and you know, putting anything more explicit about just wanting essentially a prostitute or someone who will sleep with you without having any expectations of you, putting something more explicit is just raunchy and immature in itself. So if you're seeking something casual, put that, because the word casual shows that you're an adult, and that when you do have something casual, you will be a mature adult about it. But saying I'm seeking something casual is far better than saying I'm seeking a wife. Because you come across as out of touch with women, and you come across as someone who's on the rebound. So you're already objectifying the women and comparing them to to the idea you have in your brain, which may very well come from your ex-wife or some other woman who knew you were crazy, you know, because she gave you a chance. So just don't do it, you know. Instead, put that you're seeking something casual, or put that you are seeking friendship, because that's what any marriage is founded upon. All right. The next mistake good men make when using Tinder and dating apps is let's skip ahead because I'm gonna save that one for last. Letting the woman talk too much. When you let the woman talk too much, you come across as you're collecting intel, which again makes you come across as like some type of predator or criminal. And you're also showing it comes across as if you think she's dumb, because when one person's being silent and one person's just giving and giving and giving, it's like you're making the assumption that she's dumb enough to realize it's not a two-sided conversation. And that's a big mistake men make, is assuming that a woman is dumb. So it makes you it makes a woman think that you think that she's dumb, in the sense that she may be talking and you may be listening, and she may feel smart, or she may feel that she's entertaining you, or that you're interested. But it also, for wise women, we notice little things. So when you're not talking and being silent, and you're thinking that we're just comfortable with basically taking the lead in that, it's kind of like you're coming off as a man who in a relationship makes the woman do all the work, and you're showing that's how you behave in the bedroom too, that you make the woman do all the work. And you're coming across as a man who tries to get over and uses some sense of flattery, or being silent to try and make get the upper hand and let a other person divulge all the information. But you're also kind of treating her like she's too stupid to notice. When you engage in conversation and make it an equal-sided conversation, one, you're showing compatibility, because it's a volley. So it's a game where both people are involved, and that's how sex should be, and that's how a relationship should be. You're showing leadership skills, which is what a woman requires of a man. In general, that protection and provision, masculinity. It shows that you're intelligent. So when you engage in conversation, you're showing intelligence without trying to teach or condescend a woman, which is what a lot of men do, and a lot of black men do this to black women, because black women have long surpassed black men when it comes to intelligence and education, and wisdom. So a lot of times black men are not as smart as black women. And this is this can usually deal with the fact that the way women learn and the way men learn, and the fact that women are talkative by nature and we like to talk and discuss, and men don't need that. It's really women, we talk to each other a certain way, and there's a way to talk to a man too, but when you're getting to know someone and you're in that dating phase, not where you're married, and you understand the roles that you play in each other's lives, when you're dating, for brothers, don't be so quick to try and prove or show that you're smarter than a woman, because a lot of men who do that or try to condescend or try to teach a woman, it's the first sign that a brother feels inferior to her. And the most dangerous thing a black woman could do in dating is date a black man who is inferior, who is not your equal. So show that you're equal to a woman by engaging in conversation. And if the conversation's not working, then if there's not compatibility, cool, move on. But the last solution is, if you have issues communicating as a man, and you don't communicate the way women communicate, and we talk and we blah 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 blah, and you're, as a man, are not like that, and you're not really able to get into that groove to try and impress women and do all of that, and you're not, you need to work on your communication skills, and you need to take some classes or take some lessons or watch some videos that will help you as a man deal with women when dating, and kind of know what women need or require, and figure out a way to meet those needs without relinquishing your sense of manhood and individual character. Take some classes and develop the ability to communicate with females. Without, again, especially with brothers, without trying to teach her or demean her, or puff yourself up and prove that you are the superior one in the situation, because again, a woman's already vulnerable. So if you're using these other means of getting to know her as a way to feel superior, you have castrated yourself, and you're showing that your manhood is castrated in the way that you deal with a female. So work on your communication skills, and work on your socializing, because some of this comes from antisocial behavior, playing video games too much, or whatever, and not actually knowing how to really socialize and interact with other people. So work on your social skills, some of you men. And when you do these things, and when you make a better effort to be engaging, you're showing you're showing your worth, because even if you're not as smart as her, which is tragic, but even if you're not, if you're funny and you bring humor and you relieve her in some way, you're worth something. But if you're just dumb and stupid, and no one wants to deal with a dumb man. And the definition of dumb is mute. So you see what I'm getting at? When you don't talk, you come off as a dummy. And a dummy is literally a mute that a ventriloquist has to speak for, you see. Side note, Moses had a speech impediment, and Aaron spoke for him when he released the plagues in ancient Kemet. So don't come, if you're not a dummy, don't come off as a dummy by letting the woman exercise all the intellect in the situation. your conversation, making an effort, it shows that you're worth something, and your conversation reflects your bedroom etiquette. It reflects your bedroom etiquette and your bedroom attentiveness. So it shows how engaged you will be in the relationship and in the bedroom as well. It reflects those things a lot of times. Now this ties into the first one, but the next one is that mistakes that men make on Tinder, dating apps, asking for a woman's number before she offers it to you. Just don't. Don't do it. It's very disrespectful, to be honest, and it ties into everything I've talked about personal information, invading privacy, and trying to get to